Hello and welcome back to Saber Outdoors. My name, of course, is Mark Alexander, your wonderful host. And today we are going to teach you how to best rig a fluke. Guys, this is not a basics video because this is not a basic rig. Now, this is only for a single fluke. If you're going to get into something like a donkey rig, that's a different video for a different day. But guys, this is how I am rigging my flukes whenever bass are finicky and do not want to fully commit to the big because you'll see this is actually being filmed a little bit in reverse. I've already been fishing. I've already caught fish on this exact fluke. Now you can see the regular 3/0 worm hook that I use almost all the time. Sometimes I'll go up to a 4, but there's an extra hook here. Now this is a number 4 treble hook. Now guys, I have that back there so that when they do this job and they bite just the back, right now they get nothing. But when I have this hooked up, I always insert that hook just like that. Look there. Now when they get that back end, they're hooked. They got to get hooked. And also too, you'll notice that this is not simply on here. If I can get it close enough, you can see that that's actually tied on. Guys, let me show you how I get this tied. Let me get you down on the table where you can see. All right guys, so we've got you down on the table so that you can see my hands, but you can't see my face. Some people prefer it this way. Let me move you all just a smidge up. Aha, now you got a good belly shot. But guys, we have our line here, and the first thing we're going to do is, of course, tie us on a hook. Now this is a 3/0 extra wide gap hook. Some people call it an EWG for short. Now the difference with this rig, you need this tag to be really long for this, and I'll show you why in a minute. But we're just going to tie a regular improved clinch knot. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel here, at least not totally. But pull most of your tag through and then finish off that improved clinch. And it's what I tie for everything. I don't care what line I'm using. I don't care what rod I'm using, what bait I'm using. The only thing I will tie it a little different for is if it's a walking bait, and that's video for another day. But get it good and cinched down in there, you know, working on down, put a little spittle on it. But the next thing you need to do, you have this long tag. Normally you would cut that off, but we've got about, I don't know, 5-6 inches to work with. What we're gonna do, we're gonna put a treble hook on the back of that. Now you can use, I prefer a 4/0 hook. You could get away with a 6 or a 2. I prefer 4. But you can use a regular 4/0 hook. You can use one of these feather trebled 4/0 hooks, or I'm gonna put on one of these bladed 4/0 hooks, because bladed 4/0 hook, I've never used one, so today's the day. Let me get this out of the package and I'll show you me tying it up and getting rigged up. Put those away, move that back. So let's get it out of the package and give her a look. Alright, got our one we need. We're going to put our one we don't back up. Now, treble hooks with extra on them, of course, do cost more, but it's okay. I'd rather catch fish and spend a little more. But what you're going to do, you're going to take your tag and you're going to tie this treble hook onto that. Now, the reason we do that is, and we're going to use the exact same knot. I'm going to use that improved clinch. I'm going to make a few rounds and then tie it the exact same way I did the other. No extra at all. And I like to have this knot a little longer. I like to have this treble hook a little further away from my from my main hook, and I'll tell you why when I get it done. But what we'll do is when we're finished, we're going to put this through there, and that's going to give us not only a really good connection with the hook going through, but if for some reason that falls off, and I'll give you a spoiler, it does, if it falls off, we're not out of luck as far as catching our fish and losing our treble hook. But now we have our hook and our other hook is tied, and you can see there's plenty of distance between the two. So when I hook that on, it's not a drag, because if you hook, let's say for instance, we'll take one of our baits out. Let's say you do just tie onto this and just run the line through this. What you're going to do, this bait needs to be pulled forward in order to work. If you tie it just back here on the treble, it's going to pull forward that way, and it'll slip through this other and not work correctly, in my opinion. I haven't tried that out myself, but I'm almost sure that's what will happen. But the way that we'll rig it up, let me cut this extra off here real quick. But we'll rig the EWG hook, you know, right through the nose. I always bring it out a little bit far back because I want my knot protected from whatever I might be putting it through. When I get to this point, I always make sure that one of my trebles is going to end up inside of my bait and the other two sticking down like this. So put my treble on there. I work my big hook through first, my main hook. Work it through. Get it exposed where it's a little bit more, a little bit better, and then it's a little bit of a tangle sometimes, but it is so worth it. But we're going to take our other treble hook and we're going to take our tail and we're going to get it centered up and put it in too. And now we have that thing with a hook on top and two on the bottom with a blade at the back, so that I've got a spinning blade on top of whatever action this might give me, which is usually a quick darting action, and it usually doesn't affect it that much. You know, you might bunch it up and it may run a little funny, but bass still will bite it. But we have a little slack here so that it's pulling from the front, not from the back. And guys, we'll go over the advantages and disadvantages at the end. Right now, I see stuff happening on the water and I want to be part of it. So let's go. Come on. Skimming. Hey, and look at there. He is not on that front hook, guys. He's on that little back hook. And that is why this is the best way to rig a fluke. I do not care what others may say. I've never found a way that I like rigging my favorite bait better than this right here. Does take a little bit of doing to get him off. He's not big, but guys, appreciate the little ones. That way when you get a big one, you really appreciate them. Because little fish, better than no fish. See you later. And all we have to do now is fix our treble, you know, put it right back where it was. We just take it just like I showed you before. I'm sure at this point I've already showed you how to do it. We just stick our one treble back up in there and our bait's ready to go again. But I would not have gotten that fish if it weren't for rigging it this way. That's why I tell people this is the best way to rig this kind of bait. It's not the slipperiest way. Yeah, you might hang up more weeds, you might hang up more baits, but the amount of fish you might catch is so worth it. Come on. He's trying to shake that hook, but he's got a face full of not my main hook. Look, 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 look. He'll quit flopping. You are an energetic little sucker. Did you mess my camera up? You guys okay? Look here. The main hook is right here. He didn't get it at all, but he got two of these trebles right in his nose. You can see down there. Got them trebles there. Let me get him off and show him to you. Again, we ain't got a giant here, but guys, again, appreciate the small ones because they're better than nothing. Thanks for biting, little guy. Don't tell him I'm coming. And guys, let's see. I don't think our bait's tore up. I think it's gonna be okay, but let's get her fixed back up here. Make sure get our twist out of it. Put our hook in just like we had it. We gotta make sure our hook's orientated right, and that is. Good deal. Takes a minute to re-rig, but guys, 2 bass already this morning. And neither one has came on that regular hook. Both of them's come on the stinger. All right, guys, she's rigged back up, not tore to pieces. Let's see if we can catch another one. Oh, I had one come get it at the shore. Ow! And he came got it in earnest. Didn't need no treble for him, but I got one in case I did. Well, guys, that's fish number 3. Didn't need the treble on this one, but the feather treble didn't hurt a thing, just made it look that much better. See ya, my guy. This is probably the best fish of the day. Give him a pitch. Get our bait back up here. All right, guys, got our bait back up there. Got her fixed back up. We're ready to go try our luck for more fish. All right, guys, so you've seen when I say that having that little extra treble on there is so worth it. It makes this the best way to rig this. Now, guys, there's definitely pros and cons. Pros, you're more likely to hook up with this. It doesn't affect the action. You can see the tail wags just fine with it. You're more likely to, likely when they are short striking to get your fish though. And that's a huge pro. Guys, that's the difference between going to the pay window and going home with nothing if you're a tournament fisherman. For me, you know, that's the difference today. It was the difference between me catching those fish and me only catching 1 or 2. But guys, it was a big deal. Now, the feathers looked really good. The blade looked really good. We didn't catch anything on the blade. Guys, it's fishing. So we caught plenty. We caught on just the regular treble and the feather treble. So I'm satisfied. Now, cons, definitely some cons. Now, if you pull this and it wraps itself, of course, you'll have to bring it in and fix it. This is not as weedless as it is with just the worm hook. Guys, there's gonna be some trade-offs, but I don't throw this in terribly thick stuff, and if I do, I'll just pop that dude off, cut the line. I don't even have to take my hook off. You know, I can just pop this out, take my little pliers, clip, and I'm ready to go into the thickest stuff that I can find. But guys, we say on this channel, when in doubt, fluke out. And the reasoning for that is almost anywhere you go in the country, almost any situation, any weather pattern, somewhere somebody's catching fish on a pearl white fluke or a white jerkbait of some variety. I don't care where they are, I don't care what time of year it is, they're doing it on this bait. And now you know the very best way, in my opinion, to rig a single one of these. But guys, that's all there is to the video. Thank you so very much for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, hit the bell notification, and subscribe. It costs you nothing and it helps me, because we're pushing for 1,000 subscribers and you could be the one that puts me over the edge. But in the meantime, thanks again for watching. We'll see you somewhere in the woods or on the water.